So there's one thing that middle school students, high school students, college students all deal with. And you know what? This one thing can impact your school year. Yes, it can make or break your school year. And that one thing is test anxiety. Listen, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can overcome test anxiety, and I'm going to show you a few ways that you can prepare for your next test. Watch this video.
Hey!
Hey, what's going on? Kantis Simmons here with the Kantis Simmons Show. And this show is designed to help you succeed in school and succeed in life. And today I wanted to talk about test anxiety. Why? I had a dear friend of mine call me and she said her son, he got a pretty good score on his, I guess it's like a pre-SAT score. And we were discussing earlier the different emotions and things he was going through where preparing for that test was concerned. So I wanted to create this episode to talk about you, to talk about what you go through where test anxiety is concerned. And by the way, boom, my new book is out. Hopefully the camera there can adjust. Yes, Play Your A Game, my new book, Play Your A Game, How to Stay Motivated, Remain Focused, and Succeed in School and Life. And check this out. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about is in this book. And if you want a free copy of this book or a free copy of a student that you know, simply have them go over to playyouragamebook.com. Yes, just go over to playyouragamebook.com. I'll send you a free copy. Hey, just take care of shipping and handling. So let's talk about test anxiety, right? Let's talk about what it feels like, what it looks like, even some symptoms of when you don't even realize that you're going through test anxiety. But most importantly, I want to show you how you can prepare for your next test and really, hey, play your A game for your next test. All right. So here are a few things that I want to throw out there to you. And if you can nod your head to say, yes, I battle with this, then that's probably test anxiety. All right. Here are a few symptoms, right? Number one, pressure. You feel stress. Maybe you have headaches. Maybe you find yourself being overwhelmed. You're uncertain. You're nervous. You're anxious. You're confused. Check this out. You may experience a little gas, and then you are excited, right? Pressure, stress, headache, being overwhelmed, uncertain, nervousness, anxiousness, confusion, gas, excitement. Now, if you've ever experienced any of those symptoms there, you probably have battled with or probably deal with test anxiety. All right. Now, what I want to give you real quick are some silly but real symptoms of test anxiety. Now, sometimes you may not realize you're experiencing it, but I want to give you some of these things here. Number one, if you can answer yes to any of these, you're probably as well dealing with test anxiety. Number one, you have trouble sleeping at night and you spend those last few minutes before sleep worrying about upcoming exams or projects. Yes or no? Number two, the day of the exam, you experience drastic appetite changes and either you overeat, you skip breakfast, or you skip lunch. Number three, while studying for your exam, you often feel a sense of hopelessness or dread. It's like, man, I'm studying for this test. Let me just jump into bed, right? Because you don't want to go through that process. Number four, you often yawn during an exam or even while you're studying, right? Number five, during an exam, you often feel confused or you panic. Number six, during an exam, you experience, check this out, sweaty palms, or you find yourself having mental blocks. Sweaty palms and mental blocks are also some symptoms of test anxiety. While taking your exam, you sometimes experience headaches, vomiting, or fainting. The next one, after the exam, you pretend the exam meant nothing to you and you just disregard the results and see the results as meaningless. Another thing is that when you finish your exam, you sometimes feel guilty and you blame yourself for not studying enough. Another one, as a general rule, you view test taking as a stressful situation and dread it. Now, if you answered yes to any of those above statements, then you probably battle with test anxiety, right? So I'm pretty sure somewhere in there, maybe you answered yes to any of those. Well, listen, I understand it's a real thing, but I do believe that if you can master how you prepare for a test, it will definitely help reduce test anxiety, the stress, the nervousness, the sweaty palms, and the mental blocks. All right, so check this out. Hey, I'm going to give you real quickly here 7.25 ways to prepare for a test. You see, I'm the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers, so I'm going to give you all that I have here on the Kantis Show. Now, before I do that, let's talk about fear, for example, for a second. Right? We've all heard of fear. We all experience fear. There are 3 quotes that I want to read to you that I believe were just very powerful quotes about fear. It says this: most people are paralyzed by fear. Overcome it, and you take charge of your life and your world. Let me read that again. Most people are paralyzed by fear. Simply overcome it, and you take charge of your life and your world. And I want to say the same thing to you. If there is any fear anywhere in taking a test and going to school and going to college and preparing for a standardized test, listen, go ahead and overcome that fear. When you overcome that fear, you now take charge of your life. Here's another one. Fear has 2 meanings. F-E-A-R, right? F-E-A-R. Fear has 2 meanings. Number 1, it means forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. That's pretty good, right? The choice is yours. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Here's a third quote by Dale Carnegie, and he says this: if you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Yeah, if you want to overcome the fear of the test or fear of school or fear of anything that you're involved in, listen, don't just sit at home and think about it. Don't just sit home and stress over this fear. Go get busy. Go get busy doing something that's going to immediately help you overcome that fear. All right, so let me give you 7.25 ways to prepare for your next test or exam, because I believe how you prepare will determine how well you do in the exam and reduce that test anxiety. Number 1, if you want to prepare for a test, the first thing I recommend you do is to organize your study space. Now, let me just be honest with you, right? I can't do anything in clutter. I'm trying, not that I'm OCD, but I really would like to be OCD in certain places. Like even in this little studio space here in my office here, right? I like things to be organized and clean so I can give my best when delivering this content and shooting this show. But I also realize too that when it comes down to you and preparing for a test, it's important that you get organized with your notes. Organize your space. If you're in the library or if you're studying in a study room, organize that space so you can have clarity and you can have focus. I believe that mess and clutter just creates more clutter in the mind. So number 1, organize your study space. Number 2, schedule your study time. Yes, schedule your study time. Now, if you realize that you have a test coming up, do not wait till the last minute to study for a test. You actually want to study for a test all school year long. And I actually give you some more tips here to show you how to study for a test all year long. But listen, you have to plan your study time the same way you plan lunch, dinner, hanging out with your friends, going to the movies, going to a class. Do the same thing with preparing for a test. Prepare and plan. Right? Plan your study time. Number 3, make up your own test questions. Yes, make up your own test questions. Now, here's something that I talk about all the time is the 50-50 note-taking rule. Now, let's just say, for example, this was your notebook, right? This was your notebook. And when you're in class, I recommend you take notes on the left-hand side of the piece of paper, right? All of your in-class notes, your lecture notes, what the teacher is talking about, what the teacher says is important. Write all of your in-class notes on the left-hand side. But on the right-hand side, every single day of the school year, you make up test questions that go with the notes on the right-hand side. So if you're talking about maybe the Pythagorean theorem in the class, you have the in-class study notes on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side of the notebook, you make up test questions. Yes, so every single day that you're in the class and when you go to study, you are making up test questions. You make your own test, right? And by making your own test, it's going to help you prepare for the big text, the big test, the big exam, the quiz, the pop-up test, the pop-up quizzes, because you are doing what? You're preparing for tests and you're taking tests all year long. Here's number 4. The 4th way to prepare for taking a test, check this out, is to take more tests, right? So let's think about it, right? Maybe you are interested in getting your driver's license. Maybe you already have your driver's license. Now think, when it was time for us to take the driver's license test, what did we do? We drove the car so we could pass the driver's license test, right? Football players, think about it. They play football during the game. How do they prepare to play the football game? They do that by doing what? Playing football at practice. And the same thing is true for you. If you want to take tests and ace your tests, the best thing I recommend you do is to prepare by taking more tests. Now, maybe you have someone in your class. Maybe you can get online. Maybe you can go to the library and find a resource that have some tests of, that same subject matter. Taking tests ahead of time prepares you for taking the big test. You get that? Taking tests prepares you for taking the test. So my suggestion number 4 is to take more tests. Number 5, yes, the 5th way to prepare for taking a test is by, check this out, teaching the subject matter to others. Yes, teaching the subject matters to others. Now, I can sit here in my office space and tell you exactly how to get here. I can tell you what highway to get on, what exit to get off on, where to turn. I can teach individuals how to get here because I know it. The same thing is true where your subjects are concerned. When you can teach a subject matter to somebody else, that really shows you and shows them that you know the subject matter. So if you want to prepare for a test, listen, go find somebody that you can teach the subject matter to. Yeah, if you're talking about the Pythagorean theorem, hey, listen, you go tell somebody. You go teach somebody the Pythagorean theorem. If you're talking about biology or maybe some aspect in business, go teach it to somebody else. And by teaching it to somebody else, it better helps you prepare for your upcoming test. Number 6, organize study groups with friends. Listen, man, I think it's so important that you have study buddies. Now, here's the deal. You got to be very cautious of the 5 people you hang around, right? There's a great quote that says, a study that have shown that the 5 people you hang around the most likely, your salary in life will be the average of those 5 people. I say it this way. The 5 people you study with the most, your GPA will be the average of those 5 people. So I recommend to you to go ahead and organize some study groups. Find some individuals who are trying to play their A game and trying to bring their best where the academic portion of their academic career, the education career is concerned. 5 people who are serious about being on the honor roll. 5 people who are serious about graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, right? All of those cum laudes. Find your study buddies, organize some study groups, and get the job done. Number 7, this is really cool. Take breaks. I would even say it this way. Take rewarding breaks. What do I mean? Listen, reward yourself. It's not helpful for you to go in and cram and study, but I recommend you study and focus in for 50 to 55 minutes. Take a break for like 5 to 10 minutes. Or go in and study for 55 minutes. Take about 10 minutes to play your favorite video game. Maybe you want to study for 10 to 15 minutes. 50 to 55 minutes, focus in, go reward yourself and have some ice cream. Or maybe you want to go play golf or hang out with your girlfriends or just shoot the breeze. But realize that when you're shooting the breeze, eating ice cream or playing your video game, you're just rewarding yourself for a period of time. You're taking a break, but then get back in there to study. All right. And the 7.25th way to prepare for a test is to plan out the exam day. Yes, go ahead and plan out the exam day. Now, if you know your test will be at 11 o'clock a.m. on a Thursday, listen, go ahead and plan out that day. What must happen, when you wake up in the morning, maybe you may have another class, you have some things to do, but plan that entire day. So when the 11 a.m. test time comes, you won't have any distractions. You won't be late. You won't be confused about what's expected for that day. So go ahead and plan out your exam day. Now, let me also give you this tip here where standardized tests are concerned, right? In some cases, based on the standardized tests, let's say, for example, the SAT, right? The SAT, you can take it, I think, as many times as you want to take it, and they always take the highest score of those 3 or 4 subject matters that they have in the SAT, right? Here's a cool thing that I recommended to one of the students that I mentor is most people take the SAT about 3 times, right? And we know the different subjects that they have there in the SAT. How about if you know you're going to take the SAT 3 times, the first time you take the SAT, you go all in on studying the subject matter of the first subject of the SAT. And then you go in and take the test, right? Of all 3 subjects. The second time you take it, focus all in on the second subject matter. Why? Because now, remember, they're going to take the highest score of each of the subject matters. So now do the same thing for subject number 3. Study that, focus on that subject matter, and take the test the third time. And hopefully what should happen is that when you focus on that subject matter, you will have the highest score in that subject matter that time that you're taking the test. Because you're taking the test 3 times, they're not going to take the highest score of each of those subject matters. Now, that's something you can do for the SAT. When it comes to standardized tests, hey, you want to be prepared by knowing what's going to be on the test, how the test is laid out, and what to expect. All right, so there are some things there to help you prepare for your next test. Number 1, organize your study space. Number 2, schedule your study time. Number 3, make up your own test questions. Use my 50-50 note-taking strategy, right? In-class notes, and then make up your own test questions. Number 4, take more tests. If you want to ace school tests, prepare by taking more tests. Number 5, teach the subject matter to others. Number 6, organize study groups with your study buddies. Number 7, go reward yourself. Take rewarding breaks. And number 7.25, plan your exam day. All right. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Listen, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Hey, down below, let me know which of these test prep ideas you do, or maybe you have some test prep things that you do that you want other people, other students, other individuals to hear. Hey, down below, go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what has been helping you to prepare for tests and overcome that test anxiety. And by the way, if you want a free copy of my book, Play Your A Game, How to Stay Motivated, Remain Focused, and Succeed in School and Life, hey, simply go over to playyouragameBook.com, playyouragameBook.com. If you know somebody else who can use this book, hey, send them to playyouragameBook.com. Send you a free copy of the book. All I ask is take care of the shipping and handling. Listen, I'm Kantis Simmons, the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers. And remember this, only one game in life counts. and that's your A game. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. Now, if this video has been beneficial to you, I want you to do 3 things for me. Number 1, I would love for you to like and subscribe to this channel. That way, when I produce new videos and new content, you'll be notified first of the videos that come out. Number 2, I want you to think about another student or another parent or educator that could use this video or videos like these, and be so kind to share this video with them. And number 3, I want you to leave me a comment down below and let me know practically how you can use the content in this video so that you can succeed in school and succeed in life. I'm Kantis Simmons, the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers. And remember this, there's only one game in life that counts, and that's your A game. I'll talk to you soon.